And what else did you do at the dollar school?
You made boyfriends. Because it was both males and female. And they didn't. I mean, sitting in the boarding house, having had your tea, this is summertime, had your tea, and then you were allowed to go out. And you could be sitting there, and the boys would be coming up to sit on the church wall, waiting for us to be allowed to go out. Oh, it was a great school.
What was the name of your first boyfriend?
David. Yes.
And the teachers must have known that was happening.
Oh, yes, yes. Because they saw the boyfriends coming up and sitting on the church wall waiting for us to be allowed there. My sister married a boy from Dollar. I mean, they're both FPs. So I can't remember them standing up. Duncan sitting on the wall, I can't just quite see, but I'm sure he did it.
And what else is it like boarding? Being a boarder, May, what was that like?
There were about 20 odd of us, from, little ones to, I mean, how little would a boarder be? Not, you don't send to
What age were you when you started boarding?
11, I think.
Right.
Up until final do your hires and go. Yeah, but they would be, 10, 12-ish. Yeah, you would imagine, looking back. In the summertime, we did our prep homework. Before tea, high tea, came home from school, quickly did your exercises and things, had your high tea, and then you went off with your boyfriend. Very. I don't know what happened at the boys' boarding group.
You sound like you had plenty of free time. Or you made sure you had plenty of free time to socialise.
Winter time, after you've played hockey, because hockey and things like that were after the school finished at 3:30 or something like that. I don't know what it is now.
It's about the same.
And then there's hockey to play or whatever else. But you get all that done before you settle down for doing your getting myself muddled now.
Don't worry. It's a nice story about your meeting your boyfriends. That was, I think, the important
yes,
thing.
To see them walk up beside the church wall and sitting there waiting.
I'm not going to ask how many boyfriends you had, me.
I wouldn't have half a dozen on the wall. One at a time. Well, you could do half the time,
You had to find something to do. And when you came to be a boarder, May, how was that leaving your mum and dad? How did you find that?
We were in Malawi, and the school there only went to 10, 11-ish, primary school only. And so my sister had 3 years down in Rhodesia at a Catholic school. Mm-hmm. Not that we're Catholic. And then when it was my turn to think about secondary school, I had 1 term at the Catholic school before we went to Dollar. Mm-hmm. So
that's a big change.
Gosh, yes.
Yeah. And so you only saw your parents in the holidays?
Yes. Well, they were in Africa.
Yeah.
And we had 2 grannies out in Fife, an auntie in Cooper. That was holidays, we were out with them. Because you didn't come home from Africa every month or 6 months. I didn't see the parents maybe for 2 or 3 years in between. Because flying was not easy.
No. And going by boat would take forever.
Yeah, yeah.
And what were your granny's houses like?
Well, you could almost see one. Airdrie Farm is a big farm up behind Anstruther. And the other granny had a wee cottage. Her son was the coal merchant. That's Collinsborough, Ely, sort of Enster Easter or Enster Wester.
I know those places, I know that pronunciation, that's right.
Well, we'd come from Africa to these. The granny in the cottage in Kanaka didn't have running water. I think I've told you this. You had to go down to a well to get water to. And that granny at a big house, Airdrie Farm, I think it's still noticeable, big farm, had no electricity. And we left all that behind in Africa. You had where have we come from? Or where have we come to?